Hey y'all. Yeah. How y'all doing? Now y'all know how I think and y'all know how I am. Now earlier today, y'all, when y'all get a chance, check this video out. Okay, y'all already know I do not tune y'all in when I'm going live, so it's best to stick on that notification. Okay? It'll let you know every time I go live. Now let me tell you something. I put two to two together because I'm a critical thinker, and I came with a conclusion, sorta, kinda, sorta. Now, in some situation, I took the benefit of doubt. In some situation, I was like, Now, earlier today, I did a live reaction. I did a reaction. Let me pull this up. Hold on, y'all. I did a reaction on Angie'S Sprinter fan coming from Tough News. Now, the reason why I chose him to do this reaction on, because he said he had legit information, and he said that he didn't have no allegedly nothing. He said his information was facts. So hold on, y'all. So what I did was, since he said he got factual information, I'm gonna use his factual information, y'all, and take in consideration that he knows exactly what he's talking about. Now, before we get started, y'all, you already know what time it is. Close that screen door and start letting all them flies up in here. Now, it's too many flies in Angie'S case. Now we gonna get to the near, what y'all call it? The near really gritty, whatever y'all be calling anyway, but you know how I am, so country. Well, look, let me tell y'all something. For those who don't know what a stunt driver is, a stunt driver is going to be this person right here. Hold on. And the reason why I chose stunt driver is because I'm a thinker, y'all. And I took up psychology, and I figure things, I put things together and think like nobody ever gonna think it. Now today I did it up earlier today. I did a reaction with Tough News, and Tough News said he had factual information. So since you had factual information, mentally I put all the tools together up in my brain, and it told me that it was a stunt driver driving that van. And other people was aware of the stunt driver, but allegedly to me, because I wasn't there, it's my thinking that it was a stunt driver. Because when Mr. Tough, he have a YouTube channel. He's on Angie'S team. He said a lady called him, and the lady advised him that Angie Stone passed away. Okay. Also, the driver. She mentioned that the driver was acting funny. because he had his girlfriend with him, I guess. But he was trying to hit me later on. I didn't understand why she called Tough News and report that to him, unless they got a close relationship. But you got to remember, this is a team of people, and a team of people become a circle. And y'all, I did this. I was in the car. I used to do some things back in the days. You know, I ain't perfect. I did some things. You know, a hustle is a hustle. And back then, in my days and time, hustle is a hustle. So you got to do what you got to do. I wasn't with the program at first, but then I did it. I like, shoot, man, y'all trying to kill me. So the name of the game was insurance. Car insurance. Accident. Okay? Now, I looked up, bumped the app, started looking at the app. That's the definition. Now, I looked up some information. Something told me my thoughts be some good thoughts. It may be some weird thoughts to y'all, but it be some true thoughts. So after I took Mr. Tough News information this morning, when the lady was telling him about the driver, she claimed that she alleged that she the one hired the driver to drive the van, but she act like she know the driver who was driving the van. But it didn't sound like she was talking about, and she could have been talking about Angie's Stone's cousin, because she said but she mentioned that lady name, said that he used pronouns she, bees around the family, but she didn't tell the family the same thing that she told Tough. So she mentioned that the lady who spoke to Mr. Tough said that, let me get his name right for y'all. I want y'all to know who I'm talking about. That one thing about me, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Now, let me tell y'all his name. I know y'all don't want to listen, but the truth is in the small channel as well. Now, but listen, the man name is Tough. His name is Tough. And he's the one covering her case. Okay? Now, Tough News TV. So, after he admit that he was giving y'all factual information, he asked the lady who communicated with him, why did you, he said, why did you hire somebody with a record that long and don't have no license to drive the van? So y'all, I looked up stunt driver for Mercedes Sprinter van. And the reason why I did that, because when you got a team of people, they communicate with each other. Okay? And they can be communicating about you, and you don't have no clue that it's all about you. What's something that you're not aware of what's about to happen. Angie's Stone's Sprinter van didn't just flip. Something caused it to flip. Now, I thought about a stunt driver. The reason why I chose the stunt driver, because a stunt driver was operating that Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, allegedly. Now, one thing about you see movies, you see actors doing stunts in cars. They can make them flip, they can make them slide, they can make them roll over 10 times, 5 times, and there's not nobody being hurt, because they have it to focus on who they want hurt in the van, allegedly. Now, the weird, he kept saying that it was, what the lady was telling him how they were sitting in the van, it was weird. Now, the lady who reported to him has a problem with the driver girlfriend. She have a problem with the driver, but she don't want to hire the driver. Then she turned around and changed her mind, said she didn't hire the driver. Now, I looked this up. With that Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, y'all know I'm going to do my own research, okay? Now, focus on understanding the van's unique handling characteristics. See, in order to do stunt, you have to have that you got to know how to be unique in what you do. I haven't heard nobody mention nothing I just said. So when y'all hear somebody mention about a stunt driver, y'all know I was the first. Because that's my theory. Now, I'm thinking that it was a hire if that somebody knew how to drive that van. Because then but one person get hurt out that tragedy. Now, let's focus on the characteristic. Emphasizing safety, y'all. And clear instruction for that specific stunt. Remember, if one person unalive, it can't happen. It can't happen where one person can be alive in a van, y'all. A stunt driver know how to drive. Now let's go look at. Here's a breakdown. Here's a breakdown of key area to consider in being a stunt driving a Mercedes Sprinter van. Number one, understand the Sprinter van's handling. You got to think about the size. And you got to think about the way. I know y'all don't like the education part. I know y'all don't like the education part. You got to think about this. Of the investigation. But you got to think about what I'm saying. How many people is on? You got to think about the size and the weight in that Sprinter van. Handling that Sprinter van doing a stunt, you got to understand the size and the weight, how much weight in there, and the size of the people in the weight in the van. Okay. Now, the Sprinter vans are significantly large and heavier than a typical passenger vehicles, requiring more space for turns and stopping, y'all. I know, y'all listen now. Now, the wheelbase on that Sprinter van. The Sprinter, the wheelbase. So we talk about the size and the weight. Now we're gonna talk about the wheelbase. In order for me to put that stunt, to make that van do what I want that van to do, I'm gonna put a stunt. I'm gonna get me a good stunt driver. Now, the long wheelbase can make tight turns and parking challenging. So emphasize the importance of using a mirror and bagging up slowly. All of this is a breakdown of a stunt driver driving a Sprinter van. So now, therefore, we don't talk about the size and the weight of the people in the van. We don't talk about the wheelbase for him to commit this stunt. Center of gravity. The van's high center of gravity can make it prone to tipping. Remember, they tipped over 3 times. If I'm wrong about 3, 2, whatever, they flip. Now, a stunt driver, the gravity, the center of gravity means a lot to him. The high center of gravity can make it prone to tipping so casual against aggressive maneuver and maneuver and maintain a stable driving style. Visibility. So we talk about the size and the weight. We talk about the Smyrna van. We talk about the wheel base, and we talk about the gravity. Now we're gonna talk about the visibility of being a stunt driver driving a Smyrna van. That I alleged that that's who they had driving their van. Alone being intoxicated, he was on something was going on with him. Now the large side, now the visibility is speaking of the large side can also lead to blind spots doing this stunt. So stress the importance of frequent mirror checks and head turns. Y'all gotta remember all of this. Got the van then just turned over. Now there are some techniques that come with this stunt driver. He has to be safe. He has to use safe techniques. Bagging up, turning, lane changes, stopping, stunt specific instruction. See, it was allegedly some instruction given in this case, in her driving, in this driving. Cause the van ain't just flipped. That's why I call it a stunt driver. I'm just saying what I call my opinion. Now, when you speak of the safety techniques, you got to think about the weight and the size of the people in the van. Somebody know about this, but Angie didn't. Angie wasn't aware, allegedly. Now, when you said we spoke on lane changes, we spoke on stopping, remind the stunt driver that the van requires more distance to stop than a regular car, so maintain a safe following distance. That van didn't just flip where it was; it flipped back from where a distance. They telling y'all what happened, y'all. Now here we go with the lane. That's what happened in the lane changes. Advise the stunt driver to make the lane changes casually and to check mirrors frequently before changing lanes. When he changed that lane, he threw the truck driver off. I don't blame that truck driver. I don't want to be, man, it's something just happened in front of my eyes that is unusual. This was an accident. I had no control of my truck because of the lane changes that the stunt driver used it. Turning, flipping that van, and the lane changes and the stopping and the stumping. Yeah, all of this is important, and the turning, all of this is important when a stunt driver do his stunt. And I want to thank Tuff for saying that he giving away factual information, because what was told to him, he can't believe that this happened only to Angie. I thought it was a fight in the van. But when I thought about everything, if it wasn't a fight, everybody else, they got injured, but they didn't underlie, but which you can be underlie. Now look, y'all. Number 3. Stunt specific instructions. Somebody was giving instructions. He said, whoever, a stunt driver can make that van do anything it want to do. That's how I come. Everybody said, but what happened to the van? How did it flip? Well, it's the stunt driver. Now, the stunt specific instruction was drifting. If the stunt involves drifting, emphasize the need for a control and a gradual approach to avoid losing control. But it lost control. But then nobody get hurt but Angie. But they got injured, but Angie lost her life. And it was said inside of that van that, y'all watch y'all start hearing stunt drivers and all this stuff. The reason why, and another thing is, that van in bad shape. You got to think about the drifting. If the stunt involves drifting, you got to emphasize the need for a controlled and a gradual approach to avoid losing control. Yeah, but then he didn't do a good job. He did a good job because he did what they wanted to be done, allegedly. Now, jumping, if the stunt involves jumping, ensure the van is properly equipped with safety features and that the stunt is performed on a safe, controlled surface. Now, something that y'all did consider in this car van incident was the high speed driving. High speed driving. If the stunt involves high speed driving, emphasize the need for caution. I'm sorry, y'all. Emphasize the need for caution and to maintain control to the vehicle at all times. It's safety first. Safety gear. Ensure the stunt driver is wearing appropriate safety gear, as a helmet and a seatbelt. Something is telling me at that time of that accident, Angie was allegedly not in her seatbelt. Allegedly, something is telling me safety she wasn't wearing that seatbelt. But by them not telling us nothing, and I'm just listening to the man who knows this, who's in charge, who's talking about her stability, her financial tough. I feel like safety occurred. Angie either stood up on that van, Angie wasn't sitting down in that seat, Angie didn't have that seatbelt. And y'all know how it is. She just got off that stage. She don't want no seatbelt on. Now, control environment, dealing with the safety of the stunt driver. Perform stunts in a controlled environment with minimal risk of collision with other vehicles or obstacles. Listen what they said. It wasn't no other vehicle in front of them. The lady said that she was hit by the truck, but she wasn't hit by them, by the van. So the area was clear when the van flipped. So they did what the stunt driver did what he's supposed to do, allegedly. The environment, minimal risk of collision with other. He did what he had to do to keep other vehicles out of it. But it's too much happened because vehicles was behind them. And the rate of speed that it happened in. Okay? Now the communication in a safety stunt. Communication. Now did I skip? No. Communication. Communication is very important. Maintain clear and consistent communication with the stunt driver throughout the stunt. So you have to ask yourself, did Angie Stone team knew about the stunt? Did they know about this stunt? Because there were communication. Now, practice. This is the safety net to tell you that somebody didn't have their seatbelt on. And that's what Angie to me. Practice. Allow amp time. Hold up. Going too fast. Hold on. Let me slide down a little bit more. What the stunt driver is going to do, y'all, practice. Allow amp time for the stunt driver to practice the stunt before attempting it in front of an audience. Now, what Mr. Tough said, Tough News, who said that he has factual information, that I did his reaction earlier, said he's not lying, he's telling the truth, what was told to him. The lady, he said the lady went back on the scene who called him to check the scene off. Why? What was she worrying about? Did he do the stunt right? What did she go back for? So it was instruction given, allegedly. And it was an audience that watched what happened, allegedly. They practiced this. They practice, y'all. Now, that's what the stunt driver got to do. Understand Angie'S Sprinter van. The engine, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta, hey. The lady who gave the podcast, the man who, I'm gonna say that he's a producer, whatever he is, he knew what he is. Who gave him that information? The lady got that van, did she change her mind and said she didn't do it? So that's when I'm putting the team in this. Engine is very important, is understanding Angie'S Sprinter van. The engine and the transmission, in order to do a stunt, and I don't know, one person got hurt in it. So you got to ask yourself, did Angie stand up? Did she sit down? Was she moving around? Did she have on her seatbelt? Somebody knew when they caused the accident, because everybody else was in their seatbelt. Now, familiarize the stunt driver with the engine and the transmission of the Sprinter van, including its power, output, and handling characteristics. You have to understand that vehicle when you speak of the brakes. Explain the braking system and its limitation, emphasizing the need to brake smoothly and avoid hard braking. Suspension. Discuss the suspension system and its impact on the van handling and stability. The tires. That's what we always ask that question. What happened to the tires on the van? Somebody said they heard a loud boom. And to me, you got to understand that vehicle if you're going to be a stunt driver. The tires, did he check the tires' pressure and condition and advise the stunt driver to replace tires if they are worn or damaged? We don't know. We weren't there. But the stunt driver knows. Now, number 6, post-stunt inspection. Vehicle damage. After each stunt, inspect the van for any damage and ensure that it is replaced before the next stunt. Somebody didn't do their job. See, when you get inside a van, when you get inside a truck and a van, you have to inspect that van. You have to inspect that truck. You may be too lazy, don't want to do it, but you got to do it. Now, let me slide this up. safety check. Conduct regular safety checks to ensure that the van is in good working condition. Did they do that? That's something you're supposed to always do. But did that happen? By following these guidelines that we just went through with this stunt driver, with a stunt being a guideline, you can help ensure that the stunt driver is able to safely and effectively operate the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van for their stunt. So I want to ask y'all a question. Do you think they have a stunt driver? And everybody was aware of the stunt driver except for Angie'S. Do you think that I'm gonna play this. See what they got here. The man ain't got no arm, he ain't got no leg. Did he help to demonstrate how to drive a Mercedes Sprinter van? I don't want to see how they drive, but I want to see what they're gonna do. Hold on. He ain't got no arm, he ain't got no hand. What's going on right now? Okay, let me put it like this. I tell you what I do. Okay. It was some information that I wanted y'all to see. Okay, hold on. Now, I want you to see a video of a Mercedes being a stunt driver driving a Mercedes-Benz. I don't know why I went right there. A Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. And the reason why I said that, y'all, is because of what Mr. Tuff said on that reaction that I did earlier. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, let me see what I can get right here. Okay, they not showing it. I'm put a stunt driver flipping over in a sprinter van. I don't know why they not showing it. I don't know why they keep showing this. Okay, stunt driver. They put it like that. I'm moving stuff. Maybe I need to put, instead of sprinter van, I probably need to put a crash, a van. Why they keep showing me this? Okay, let's look at this. Let's see what Red Bull talking about right now. Let's see what he said. I love y'all. Let me turn up this. Now, let y'all see this. Give it time too. This is not demonstrate this.
All right, so just the information right now, they just did a quick pit stop on this thing.
I don't know why they. I want to see a van.
bit of a helmet gallery.
And so he's just showing. I was trying to show y'all a van. I would, but they not. They don't have one. A stunt driver driving a van. Maybe I need to put a stunt driver driving a van. Let me try. Let's look at this one. Let's see what a car. That's a car rollover. Behind the scenes stunt feature. Let me see. I want a van. Because if you don't usually hear about a van flipping like that. That's why I was looking for a van. These are cars. You don't find too much about a van flip like that. But let's look at this. Wow.
goes down, boom, you're rolling. You just start rolling really quick. I mean, when you hit that button, boom, you're on your roof, you're rolling. I believe we are hot. We have some gerbs that we'll put in for when Lou's here. We just did the DNC. We're going to incorporate a gerb so you get not smart use so you action. Now we're going to put on all the safety gear that we're going to use for this. Using our arc.
We go to stunt part, y'all. They practice.
Put on all the gear, charge the system, let it roll. So where on your arm out the window, push your hand, break your arm. You want to step up here. Yep. Okay, so I'll do action. You just be watching inside there, and then they'll take the note. Now we're going to tie it up. Then we're going to charge the and I'll snug down the belts. Thumbs up, and we'll go. What, 750 on A? Yeah. I can reach up and release the head restraint. Where's my glove? System A and System B is hot, not electrical. All the red lights are on, alright? All the red lights are on. All the red lights are on. Okay, Jake, get away from that side. Here we go. You're hot. Alright, get out of there. I'm out. Where are we going? We're gonna go back up for fire safety. And global. This is jam.
Now, I'm not saying that that happened, but he's also a stunt driver. So inspection was very hard, very case. Inspection, I think that if she the only one got, I know they said somebody got injured, but we don't know. They had to practice this. Somebody had lessons because they was hired. Okay. Okay, and a lot of things you need to consider in this situation that a person can. I want to put it on here. Live in from or about this case than anybody else do. Now let's go here. This is Montgomery news. This past weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend of the accident. This past weekend, Montgomery County had dozens of those instances from Friday, February the 28th, through Sunday evening, March the 2nd. There were at least 75 crashes reported throughout Montgomery County, the highest in the state for that period, according to the statistical data source. You have to ask yourself, what caused those 75 crashes reported in Montgomery County? That comes from State Patrol. Something going on. Now, that's more than the 57 report in Mobile County, which was in the midst of Mardi Gras celebrations. It's more than Madison 39, Jefferson 37, or Lee 33 state countries. It also far beyond the rest of the river region. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me back that. Back. Among five major crashes, they shut down the lanes over that weekend. Okay, what made this situation occur? Because we know that van, after learning and educated ourselves of what we just been taught, the van and just flipped. Okay, Montgomery County is one of the five major central Alabama crashes. The Alabama law enforcement agents had troopers respond to over the weekend. All five were serious enough to shut down lanes on interstates and major roadways, along with a fatality. That means one died, one was unalive. There were also serious injuries. Fatality, I apologize, y'all. That means that one was unalive, that was Angie Stone. Four of three involved two vehicles or more. Why are they having so much action on that highway? He said that they shut down that highway. It was serious injuries. I don't understand why they had to stick four of the five were morning crashes. It was a morning crash. Three involved two vehicles, two vehicles or more. detailed release by Ali for the weekend crashes. They had 5 major weekend crashes on that freeway on February on Friday, February the 28th at 7:11 a.m. That's in the morning. There was a multiple vehicle crash that temporarily blocked all the lanes in Alabama. 14 near the 183-mile marker in Elmore County. On Saturday at 4:25 a.m. So the next day, this is trip, y'all. This is a trip. This is oh my God. At 4:25 a.m., two collisions on Interstate 65 in Montgomery County caught worldwide attention because of the death of Grammy nominated singer Angie Stone. They just had a crash, y'all, in the morning. Now you got one on that Saturday in the morning on Interstate 65. Now, according to Ali, began a single vehicle collision. Single now. It began with a single vehicle collision near the 162-mile marker, about 5 miles south of Montgomery City, in which the Mercedes-Benz van Stone was in overturned. We just went over that. We just went over that. After that, the van was struck by a commercial vehicle. The collision unalive Stone and left the van's the northbound and the southbound interstate lanes was temporarily closed. So they said that it began with the flipping of the van. I just walked y'all through the stunt driver has to do drive their van. Don't forget that the podcaster said that the team, the guy who Andrew Stone brought his name up, and he the one telling us that he got factual information. He's not making up nothing, but it was told to him. And when it was explained to him what happened inside of that van, he said, "Man, I don't understand how that happened." But the person reacted like they was in the van, but they were so focused on the driver. So I asked myself, was there altercation inside that car? What flipped that van from way distant? Now, Saturday, March the 1st at 6:18 p.m., a two vehicle crash blocked the southbound lane of Alabama, 165 near Sweetwater Branch Road in Russell County. Then they had another accident March the 2nd at 6:58. That 6:18 p.m. But the first one I don't heard happened in the evening. The rest of them been in the morning, 6:58 a.m. The single vehicle crash temporarily shut down. Not temporary. Do y'all think somebody doing something to Montgomery uh cause they having too many accidents on that highway. Now, Sunday, March the 2nd, at 8:59 a.m., they had another single vehicle crash, temporarily shut down the southbound. Something ain't right here. Now, these crashes are all under investigation by ALEA. And it should be because them too many crashes. The van. They end up that highway end up getting a major attention with that van. They start flipping for nothing, for no reason. But I just showed the stunt driver and the procedure and caution that they had to use to do something. Now, but before I leave, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Is there these crashes are under investigation. Is 5 major accidents and abnormally high numbers for a sunny spring weekend, Central Alabama. Not necessarily, they said. Quote, I would say it pretty average or maybe a little higher than average, said ALEA senior trooper Josh Thompson. I wouldn't necessarily say it's an extreme rise. They have a bad accident on that highway. It's something causing those accidents. Okay, statistically, statewide, there were at least 442 traffic accidents in Alabama from Friday to Sunday, according to the safety data.com. As of Monday morning, the website could not include stone fatal crash. The crashes it did it did list were wow, that's crazy. Why did the website count Angie's stone fatal crash? Why did they count that one in their statistical data? It said the crashes it did list were 11 was suspected serious injury, 35 was suspected minor injury, 35 with possible injury, and 356 were possible damage only, and 6 categorized as unknown. This is weird. And then it went on to talk about the rats that so far in 2025, and they left you with a statistical data right here with the vision of Alabama freeway. They be driving fast, y'all. Okay. Seatbelt safety. After going through what was told of what was said and everything, was Angie walking around on that van? Was Angie standing on that van? Because it was was told to source that this person said they were holding Angie. Then this person said they were holding Angie, and then later on, don't nobody remember holding Angie. Did Angie Stone team hire, or either did someone on Angie Stone hired a stunt driver for her sprinter van? And it was allegedly said that the driver didn't have license. So if the driver didn't have license, the driver is locked up. Did the driver have a loan sheet? It also, the lady said, told the source that she changed her mind about. She told the family something different, that she didn't hire. She didn't hire the driver, knowing that the driver didn't have any license. Now, what was told us earlier, they really showed y'all two men. One was her cousin, and one was another looking man. And they said he was acting weird. If the man were intoxicated or something like that, they would have locked him up, y'all. And another thing, the truck driver, he ain't going nowhere. I don't know why they put it out there that he disappeared. That man traumatized. Because that'll let you know that they were going fast. The accident happened before he hit them. I want to hear what y'all got to say later on in the comment. Your opinion is your opinion. I'm going to ask you a question. Do y'all think for that? Then he said the lady went back on the scene and rode with somebody to look at Stunt. Now, he didn't say Stunt. I'm saying Stunt. Because it didn't work out right. So then the way it was presented to us, since you said you had factual information, was telling me that it was playing. Somebody got into it on their van. Somebody went in the seatbelt on their van. Somebody was standing up at the time. Somebody either were doing something, reaching over or something. It was the time that it happened. And what we don't have here in this case, and they doing this to the case. We ain't got no time. One time. And my life ain't never did that, y'all. My life ain't never blinked out like that. So I don't know this, but I'm just telling y'all, this ain't never happened. What just happened? This ain't never happened. My life blinking off like that. I don't like that. Because all I'm saying I'm doing is giving my opinion. Too much was going on that van. And people not being honest with it. And they showed us that it will also say that the driver wasn't Angie Stone's usual driver. Now, what they mean by that? I thought I thought her cousin was her main driver. But they hired, it was told to the source that the van, they hired that person to drive that van. And the person who drive that van got a rap sheet. No license, get high, bad, been in jail a couple times. But they said they throwing y'all off. They're gonna throw you off. But I'm gonna leave you like that, and I'm looking at y'all. I'm listening to you. So since you said you had factual information, and you on part of her team, I'm gonna be on your butt because I'm gonna be listening. That's just what I think. Angie Stone van people. Angie Stone van didn't just flip. It didn't just flip over. But I'm listening. I'm behind the scene and I'm paying attention. Since you giving out factual information, I'm gonna be on it. I'm out of here, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe to the video.